We'll now move on to the judicial review section, and Murdo Fraser.
Thank you. Convener, if you'll indulge me, I have a number of questions in this area. Can I start, First Minister, and ask you, what was your role in relation to the judicial review? To what extent was there ministerial oversight of decisions that were being taken?
So my formal role, I was named as an interested party in the petition. It was a petition against Scottish ministers, of which I am one, although it's, as you know, it's a collective designation. So I was involved in discussions about prospects of success and the changing sort of fortunes of the changing perceptions of those prospects of success as we went through. My involvement was greater at particular junctures. It wasn't something I was being briefed about or talking about every single day. It wasn't something. So just, I remember having discussions with SGLD, the Scottish Government Legal Department, around the time the petition was going through the process of ultimately being served in the Scottish Government. Initial views on prospects of success. I knew that there were discussions in, I think, early September into mid-September about preliminary issues that I was kind of aware of the views that were being taken. By preliminary issues, I mean, were we going to oppose permission to proceed? Things like time bar, were there any parts of this that we considered time barred? There was a preliminary issue about the designation, whether it should have been against the Permanent Secretary or just Scottish ministers, and the issue which I know the committee heard about from Mr Salmond about whether there was a case for assisting at that stage because of the criminal procedure or whether reporting restrictions. So I was aware of all of that in the early days. I then saw the note, which you have now seen, of prospects, which I think was late September, and saw initial pleadings, the initial government answers to the pleadings. So it was that kind of, I've been, as a minister, I've had, not lots, I hasten to add, but there's been some big high-profile judicial reviews against the Scottish Government, that in my so minimum pricing, for example, being one of them. It was not an unusual degree of involvement or oversight. I mean, obviously, given who was taking the Scottish Government to court, made it slightly unusual. And then, I suppose, the next period where I would have been particularly aware of the detail of what was going on was around that end of October point. And then, clearly, I'm not saying there was nothing in between there, clearly the next key point would have been into December and ultimately the period where we decided to concede.
Okay, thank you.